Yoga teachers, mindfulness leaders, and energy workers, are you ready to stop side hustling and start making an income doing what you love? Welcome to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll dive into conversations with successful creatives in wellness, business, marketing, and more to uncover practical methods to take you from A to B and have some fun along the way. My name is Jessica Cross, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Marketing Off the Mat. It's Jess, and I'm thrilled to be sharing this conversation that I had with my friend, Elizabeth Rowan. So does the thought of investing in yourself or in mentorship send you running for the hills? Then you're definitely going to want to take a listen to this conversation. Elizabeth has 15 years real world experience in the business world, plus 10 years of experience in study and teaching yoga. She has a proven framework that supports your spiritual business, your personal evolution, so you can stand up in a deep-rooted place of service for the world. We talk all about the energetics of investing in yourself and mentorship. And if you need a little mindset shift around that topic, you're definitely going to want to listen in. Let's dive in. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you?
So good. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm thrilled that you're here too. Thank you for your time and all of your incredible energy that you're sharing with us today. And I talked a little bit about you in the intro, but I would love for you to tell us all a bit more. Tell us about you. Tell us how you got started in your career and how it's brought you to today.
Okay. It is a wild ride.
Let's go.
So, like perhaps some of your listeners, I too have this whole pre-yoga life in which I was living in Hong Kong, married at the time, in a nonstop high heel BlackBerry toting career, slowly losing my soul. And I have since childhood always been a mystic. I had not, however, always been a yogi. So there I am, living and working in Hong Kong. The pace is relentless, working across time zones, traveling incessantly. My physical health started to take a toll. I have anxiety to begin with, and then add all of that stress on top. I kind of reached a tipping point, and among much, enrolled in baby's first yoga class. And it soon followed thereafter that I was in YTT and did my initial 200 hours there in Hong Kong with a beautiful family studio from Chennai, India, and was like, wow, where has this been all of my life? And who knew all of these powerful practices and self-preservation tools existed, all the while that I have been trying to just band-aid myself energetically in this life that wasn't mine. So I'm doing yoga, I'm doing YTT, I'm doing my little pin-up vision board of what life might look like down the road. And also, which is not unusual in how we kind of find our way, end up within a couple of years leaving that career, moving back to the States, leaving my marriage, enrolling in multiple TTs, starting teaching full time, and absolutely found my voice and my power and my calling. I love it. Everybody listening to you loves it as well. So you all can relate. I was teaching full time, as I mentioned, and did that for a few years, started leading retreats. I created a 100-hour immersion and was eventually teaching on faculty for a couple of 200-hour YTTs. So fast forward, I start getting inquiries now that I'm an increasingly established teacher from fellow teachers. How do I fill in the blank? How do I start leading retreats? How do I cultivate a following? How do I this, that, and the other? And was like, there's something missing from your average yoga teacher training in regard to the business of yoga. I don't know about yours, but mine was brief, if at all.
Yes, it was a very similar experience.
Basically do a resume, practice for your demo, and cross your fingers and hope. Yeah, totally. So I'm starting to hear from fellow teachers all of these inquiries, and I'm realizing there is a gaping hole in the market for business and mentorship guidance. So I had probably been teaching 6 years or so full time before I created my mentorship. And that was back in maybe 2018, 17, 18. And that took off then. And then it took off double, as you might imagine, post pandemic, when everybody was like, okay, wow, what do I do now without a brick and mortar? What do I do if I'm not teaching for a studio? How do I navigate this myself? So mentorship continues to evolve, just like the yoga industry, and it's expanded beyond just yoga teachers, mystics, healers, feelers, medicine keepers, all these beings that are like Hanuman, like hearts on the outside, wanting so beautifully to share their work and needing some skeleton and strategy that, as it were, my former life had provided me with, so that I'm able to share that with others. So I hope that answers your question. It's kind of long-winded, but it continues to evolve and reveal itself.
Yes.
I'm here for the ride.
Oh, I love it. And I didn't think it was long-winded at all. It was fascinating. I just love that story. And I know, myself and many people that are listening right now can totally resonate, where, I love that you said, BlackBerry toting, high heel wearing, like I was there too. And I just remember that feeling when you're like, I know there's more and I'm not sure what it is. And then you step into your YTT and you're like, okay, there's this whole world that I had not even considered. And then you're like, I really want to do this full time, but I don't have, how do I make this full-time yoga thing a thing? Like, how can I pay my bills? And you stepped into that and you figured it out with your retreats and all your offerings. And that magnetized clients to you, other teachers who are like, I want that. How do I lead from my soul, from my heart, and offer what it is I want to offer? And how do I make a good living doing it? And I think that's like the crux of all of our questions, right? It's like, how do we make this thing a thing?
That part. Yeah.
Yep.
How do we make this thing a thing that is impactful to everybody that I'm seeking to like share transformation with, and supports me profoundly as well, so I can keep doing it? I love to say, like, the kind of wounded healer, suffering healer archetype is no longer, as we are increasingly empowered to really own this as a business and a professional path in integrity. Like, you don't have to pick one or the other.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, you don't have to pick one or the other. It can be both. And I love the archetype that you used too. I also have heard, like the starving artist, or somebody just doesn't feel particularly passionate about making money because they feel like, oh, it's bad. I shouldn't accept money for my gifts. This is, for everyone. But then you as the offering, you are the offering, but you as the person who's putting this incredible gift out into the world then loses steam because, you can't pay your bills. And that is so sad to see. And it happens way more than it should with the burnout. And I just love that you are stepping in and saying, hey, no, come with me. Like, there's a way to do this.
Yeah, there's absolutely a way to do it. And yes, it's about like your livelihood, and that goes beyond like cash in hand. Like, yes, absolutely, the financial is key, but the energetic component to be able to stay in this like powerful seat of the teacher with longevity is key as well, because nobody gets into this wanting it to be just this flash experience. To really change others' lives, to change your own, it has to be sustainable, like something that lights you up more than just sucks the life out of you, which if we're doing that, we could have all just stayed under the like fluorescent light in the cubicle or whatever.
Isn't that the truth? Oh my goodness. And I think that's an excellent parallel too. Like, that's the exact thing we didn't want to do, is to, drain our energy and feel empty at the end of the day, no matter what it is that we're doing, right. BlackBerry or, yoga mat.
Yes, all of it. All of it. Yeah.
Throughout your journey in your career, I'm guessing that you had interactions with mentors and other teachers who were like really passionate about this too, and you're kind of opening your eyes to seeing all of the gifts from your past life, from your current experience. And how did that kind of shape where you are? How did that kind of shape your business?
I have had tremendous teachers and tremendous mentors, and like many listeners, I'm sure can relate, would absolutely not be anywhere near where I am without them. Like it took and takes, continues to take a whole circle of people that are further along, that are where I want to be, that are doing things differently, and really, have historically like opened my eyes to moving differently in this industry as it really, has come quite literally online. So I can't say enough about finding good teachers and mentors that light you up, that you feel some kinship with, that are, as I mentioned, where in some form you want to be, that are, again, in their integrity, that are like energetically aligned with you, and that can help you stay in your genius by filling in the gaps from theirs. Like if you are a yoga teacher or a healer, that's where you want to shine, I am guessing, not the like behind the scenes, passive income, web back end, like all the nitty gritty, like logistical stuff. And that, for me at least, is where mentors have come in tremendously, in terms of like, okay, let's look at it like this. You're the talent. And to pull this off over time, we need to get all of these supporting elements in place. So it's like one part, not doing it all on your own, which I did that for far too long. I'm sure many of you did too. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to figure it out, because somebody else has figured it out already, and they can step in and save us years. Like when you hear all that chatter around collapsing time and like quantum leaping and so on, hiring a mentor, as far as I'm concerned, is the quickest way to make that happen, in terms of saving yourself just agony of trying to crack the code in a vacuum.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you nailed that. Yes, it does. It is like it is. I never even considered that. It does collapse time. And working with somebody can help keep you accountable. It can motivate you. You have somebody to bounce ideas off of in a thought partnership kind of way that, for me, as you said too, I spent way too much time trying to do it all on my own, or, hoping that maybe one of my friends would get it, or that my husband would get it. And, they don't always do, especially when we're coming from the spiritual lens and, the way you teach yoga, and they're like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, that sounds great, Justin. You're like, I need someone who gets it fully, like the business, the yoga, how we want to meld the two, and finding somebody who is as passionate and has, as you said, been there before, is everything. It absolutely will change your life.
Absolutely. And it is, as you say, like a completely different dynamic than trying to even talk to like your partner, your spouse, your roommate, whomever that is in, I don't know, banking or whatever. Like when you're talking about, yes, business, and yes, yoga. Oh, and also let's like tap into the unseen realms, that you can see their eyes like start to roll back in their head. And I'm like, you know what? There's a better way for you and I both. Like, let me absolve you from this like unsolicited spiritual advisor role, and I can take some ownership of what I want to create for myself. I mean, when we're talking about, you were saying, yes, you're in co-creation together. It's like this accountability. It feels important also to articulate that I have never not been intimidated by everyone that I've hired. And it's because they require of me some form of stretch. some like showing up that if left to my own devices, I might just like roll around in my own muck,
Yes.
unsupervised, right? And then do the old wail and flail, like, why isn't this working? And outsource my power and all the things. Whereas somebody that's a little bit activating in an appropriate way, of course, can really call us to step into our like future self.
Yes, I so agree with that. I love how you said wail and flail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that one in my mind. I'm like, how many times have I done that? But then we all do. But yes, it's like, and as you said too, it's like in an appropriate way, we want to have somebody who's going to challenge us. That's going to say, you know, yes, I see you, and I'm going to hold you to this line because this is what you want. These are your dreams, and it's only no one's coming for you. Like, it's all up to us in order to take those steps and stick to the plan or deviate from the plan to make the things happen.
I actually thought of this podcast recording because I had an interesting client experience, if you will, unfold overnight. And this is a beloved client that I've worked with for probably just shy of a year now. And she yesterday decided to renew mentorship for another 6 months, and like booking her calls, set the payment, sign the thing, we're good to go. And this morning I looked at my email and it was like midnight last night. She had emailed me like, oh God, I'm freaking out. Like, I take it back. Can I cancel? You don't do refunds. Like, I spoke too soon. I'm impulsive. Da, 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 da. So I see that this morning, and Jessica, within like 3 hours, here comes another email. I'm good. Got my power back. Like, whew, sorry about that. Close call. I'm like outsourcing my power. And I was just like, yep, not surprised in the least. And welcome back. Like, it happens to all of us. Welcome back.
Amen to that. It does happen to all of us. And, you know, I'm in coaching containers. I'm sure you are too. And I think every time I've ever decided to invest in myself and into that coaching container, after I hit send, there's a moment where my stomach drops. I'm like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, I have to trust the part of me that hit send. You know, I've got to trust her because she knew. And, you know, it's okay to have those doubts, and it's okay to have those moments. And I'm so glad in a span of 12 hours, your client probably while you overnight figured it out for herself. She's like, I'm good. Yeah. We all have our days.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it happens to everybody. And I think that is a great example too of how we can reframe quote unquote business as ritual, like as this self-initiation, because business on top of yoga, wellness, spirituality obviously gets a bad rap. But when we reframe it as this really powerful invitation for us to self-initiate, frankly, things start to look different. And that goes for like how you're packaging, how you're pricing, using contracts, boundaries, marketing, all the things get to be sacred ceremony so that it's actually doing something even cooler underneath, like at the unconscious level, as much as it is laying the groundwork for your business on a logistical level.
I love that. If we come from our business world, our past lives, and we think about all of the little things that we had to do to work with another business. And then we think it's like you bring those over to your own business and you're like, oh, I still need a contract with my one-to-one client, and I still need to have a payment processor. I like all of those things. But when we take it into the same lens of the realm that we now live in and work in and is a part of us every single day, there's a huge shift. And I love the way that you put that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I think there's so much potential for like personal expansion, whether or not you are even conscious of it at the time.
Yes.
In participating in any of this, like, it is a very brave and truly powerful, in the original sense of the word, way to like live your life and impact that of others. So yeah, I could go on about business as ritual. I think that perspective is a game changer for me and a lot of people.
Yeah, we may have to do another episode just on that.
Let's do
Sounds
it.
so
Let's
good.
do it.
Yeah. So coming back to mentoring and working with a coach, a teacher, a senior teacher, what are some tips for the teachers that are listening out there who they know they need this, they're not exactly sure where to start? How would they go about finding somebody who kind of, as you said, has a match in energy and then has been there before? Somebody's going to take them to the next level.
Yeah. I think a great place to start is one, trusting your intuition and looking at people who are in their own way where you desire to be, because they know what path at least worked for them from A to B. The other thing that I would tell myself, and I might be getting ahead of myself here, but we can come back to this, is to go ahead and hire the help, freaking hire the help, because you will be so much further along if you go ahead and take action on your own behalf now, as opposed to like stall and make excuses and get stuck in stories and all the things. So look for people who are in your own way where you want to be. Trust yourself in kind of feeling into how they teach, how they deliver their teachings. Absolutely use discernment on who this is, what they stand for, their values. And that, I think, is a really key part that separates yoga and spirituality from nearly any other industry. There is that element of needing to be on the same page values wise, as opposed to just hiring somebody to teach you how to like run a payment processor or something like that. Like it goes deeper from the start, which I think is so beautiful. Another thing, while you're shopping for your next mentor or coach, utilize that time to look with love at your own scarcity or money stories. Because even when we find that like dream person, just like you and I were just talking about, it can be really activating, if not outright triggering, to consider investing in yourself in any way, frankly, like at any price point. And that tends to not go away. It just shapeshifts.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yes.
It just shapeshifts. So like what used to activate you, okay, maybe we've integrated that and now we're at the next level. So just like personal growth, right? It's always evolving. But I would absolutely say anticipate that with grace and compassion to yourself, that like resistance, so that when you find your person and it's almost go time, you're not in your own way. And you can really like tap into the state of, okay, I might be freaking petrified and I can also trust myself to move for and from future me.
That's so good. That is
also
so good.
Trust myself to move for and from future me, because the alternative is like Groundhog Day. Just the same old, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it really is. And I think, I mean, I can definitely relate to that and, you know, past versions of myself that felt like, you know, the same day, same story I'm telling myself, the same issues, same situation, same scarcity mindset. But it just perpetuates until you get, for me, frankly, tired, and something had to change.
Yeah. Like we've all got, I mean, honestly, at this rate, everybody's got dozens of like when shit hit the fan moment. It's like, I actually have to get out of my own way. No one's coming to save me, no matter how long I lay here on the floor and cry.
Yeah.
Like at a point that will wear thin and I'll realize maybe there's another way. And I think it's so important also to feel into this through the lens of not bypassing, like honoring all the ebbs and flows of being a human navigating, one, spirituality, and then two, trying to package it in this 2022 way. So honoring all that comes with it, and also like when we can, as best we can, defaulting to like future you. I don't remember who said this, and if I do, I'll tell you. But I read recently this beautiful reframe from higher self to like my favorite self.
Oh,
Right? Which has, I
yes.
think, so much more like humanity to it as opposed to this elusive you out in the ether that has her shit together. Who is that?
If you find mine, send her my way. I haven't
Right?
seen her yet.
Totally. So like, okay, I can trust myself to move for my favorite self or like my future self and get where I want to go.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought behind how to choose your own mentor, but basically you want to be in a way that is helpful, like activated by them, like kind of, oof, that was a zinger in a good way.
Yeah. And the beauty of it now, as you said, in our 2022 world, it's so much easier to find this person, and
Yeah.
he or she or they are out there, and whoever it is, it's honor yourself and give yourself the love that your future self is hoping that you will give. Take the time, seek them
Yeah.
out, get in their containers, ask for a consult, whatever it is that you can meet them, do it. It's the
All the
way.
thing.
Yeah.
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 Like, yes, for yourself, of course, and for everybody that has you on their vision board waiting, like, where is she?
Yes.
Where are they? I'm ready. And we're like stuck in our own spiral. So, yes, for you and everybody out there that cannot wait to work with you.
Yes. I love that. And the longer that we delay, the longer they have to wait. And that just doesn't seem fair. Like,
True.
we got to show up. Yeah. Oh, and that's the hardest part. It's the hardest part. So tell me, if you could go back into your previous versions of yourself, at any point in your career, in your life, if there's something that you could go back and tell past Elizabeth, what would you tell her?
Hire the person. I have this distinct memory. It was probably 2017 or 18 when my mentorship was starting to take off, and I found this person that I wanted to work with and was like, okay, I'm going to like gulp and buy the $297 downloadable PDF or whatever it was and try to DIY it. And Jessica, that worked for a second until it didn't. And I only in the last 18 months hired her. So if I could go back and be like, pro tip, you might save 4 years of self-induced suffering if you like stop being intimidated by this person and trust that they can like leapfrog you. Absolutely, it would be that. It would be like go bigger, earlier, and a little bit before I think I'm ready, because I firmly believe also sub sidebar that readiness is a myth. Like we could just perpetually not be quote ready, and it's the action taking that initiates it, and then everything else follows.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. And there's so many sayings, but it's like jump and the net appears, or take the step, the path lights the way, or what, there's so many lovely, lovely sayings for that, but it's so true. It's like, you almost don't know. Like we think of a roadmap and very specific points. We're like, okay, first my business, I'm going to go here, and then I'll go down this way the next. But it's actually more of like a compass, and it's a general direction versus like knowing every single step before you take it. So I love that. And I wish I'm the same. I wish I would have, invested sooner. All of this is Googleable. We can all Google everything now, thanks to being in 2022, but it's having somebody who can actually help you find your way, not their way, not Google's way, but yours. And that's what we're all after, I think, ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, and it's invaluable. Like there's no investment or number that can trump that experience for ourselves. And it takes us like reaching for it first. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I'm just so like motivated now.
Yay.
Awesome.
Well, and to your point around, there is so much we can Google. Yes. And what we can't Google, that being in like group containers or one-on-one mentorship or masterclass, whatever it is working with people who understand the energetics and the emotional roller coaster that is entrepreneurship and self-employment. So like, it's one thing to have all of the like how to and next steps. It's another to have somebody in your back pocket who, one, has been there and gets it, and two, can hold themselves and you through the inevitable ride of the whole shebang.
Yeah, that's real hard to get from a PDF.
I mean, I'd say I haven't found that download. If you find it, please share.
Yeah, everybody listening, please send it to Elizabeth and I. So we haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it's so true. It's just like being in partnership in your business with another human who has walked that same path it's not out there on the Googles. Like, you're not going to find a YouTube video. You're not going to find any of that. You're either in a group container, you're with like-minded folks who are walking the same path, and no one's going to get it like they are.
Yeah. I love to think of it almost like we're all nesting dolls. Like, there is just this beautiful, unending connective chain of all of us that are seeking to change lives, including our own, and do good in the world and expand spirituality, mysticism. And we are all helping each other along. Like, all of my clients have clients who have clients, and I've got mentors who have mentors who have mentors. I mean, it just goes on, and you can see that it's this like ever renewing resource of knowledge. Like, why wouldn't you tap into that? Now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you tap into that?
Yeah, it's a lineage. It's feeling like you're a part of, so much that came before you, and also everything that you can imagine after.
It is a lineage.
So
well said.
Special. Yeah, I love that. Oh, this is so much fun. So I know you have a lot of cool stuff going on out in the world. So tell us a little bit more about it. What do you have coming up?
Okay, coming up in April is a powerhouse masterclass and workshop on all things marketing for mystics and business. This is called Spellbound. Yes, and it is designed entirely for all of those of us who have a hard time translating your magic and your gifts into words and graphics and deliverables for mass consumption. So that starts April 5th. We're actually in early bird pricing this week. And as I say, it's a masterclass and a workshop where we're actually co-creating copy and language together. Other things look like my signature group program, Sorceress CEO, is in pre-sale for summer. Yep, this is a 3-month program, again, for mystics and business, and everything from pricing to personal power, self-leadership and sales, marketing, and like managing your inner world in all of the twists and turns. So those are the next in line. I am always chatting with folks about different ways to work together one-on-one as well. And that's everything from like a flash in the pan VIP day to longer term containers, 3, 6, 12 months. So something for everyone, depending on where you are in your journey. And I'm always like bringing on new master classes and small groups and short-term adventures as well. So stay tuned for more where that came from.
Ooh, all of that sounds so delicious. I cannot wait to share. We'll put all the links to her incredible stuff here in the show notes if you're listening. So just go back to the show notes and hit those links. And then tell us, how can we follow you? You have so many cool things. We want to get a little peek behind the scenes and see what you're up to.
Please. I share a ton of resources as well for business. So if this is like something you've been thinking about, find me, binge my content. Instagram and Facebook, I am at Elizabeth Rowan Yoga. I also have a Facebook group for mystics in business called Business Priestess Activation. you, Jessica, have the link for that for everybody to share. And my website is elizabethrowanyoga.com as well. So
Beautiful.
Lots of thoughts. Yeah.
Yes, beautiful stuff. And we'll also include how everyone can follow you and stay connected and see all of the lovely things rolling out. And this has been such a fun chat. Thank you so much. Can't wait to stay connected.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm excited.
absolutely. Wasn't that chat with Elizabeth so great? She's just a wealth of knowledge, and I love the way that she frames things. It's very approachable, and I know that you're going to love her. So go give her a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and definitely check out her Facebook group. All of those are in the show notes. And then if you are listening today on April the 5th, her masterclass Spellbound is launching today. So there's a link in the show notes for that as well. And if you're interested in working one-on-one with a coach, if this got you fired up about finding somebody that resonates with you, who's going to help push you to the next level, and someone who's been there, definitely shoot me a DM on Instagram. It's at jessicacross.co, or follow me over on my website to learn a little bit more about what I offer. I'm ready and more than willing to show you all the things that I've learned and help you find your way. So we'll catch you on the next episode. Talk soon. Thanks for listening to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. I love hanging with you as we figure this thing out together. Do you have an idea or something to share with me? Send me a DM on Instagram at jessicacross.co and let me know what's on your mind. I'd be so grateful if you shared this with someone who could use this episode. And if you get a chance, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch you on the next episode. See ya.